Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the final off-season live stream with the Arkansas State Red Wolves. What a year we just covered. We defeated the Georgia Bulldogs 3 times. Once during the regular season, once in the SEC title game, and once in the national championship. We ended their reign, kept them from winning a 3rd straight title. And now it's the Arkansas State Red Wolves that are the top team in college football. 16-0, the perfect season has been achieved. And in 8 years, we've accomplished the mission that we set out for in this series. And now I'm looking to have us defend our title through one more year. So, originally I thought this series would go 8 seasons. And there's been enough interest for there to be a season 9. And I'm interested to see, like, we spent so much time with this era, with the quarterback Gerald Ogletree. Let's see what one more year looks like, especially defending our title in 2033. So, welcome everybody to the off-season live stream. How you guys doing here this Sunday? Call up Prince Kirby. It's not time. I got the Twins game on here on the side. As I was going live, I watched the Twins take and extend their lead over the Boston Red Sox. How do we replace Maddox? Well, we do have the 2 best running back prospects joining the team. And part of why I'm interested in doing a year 9 is because I feel like so much of this series has been driven by the transfer portal. And this feels like a really good opportunity for us to get more of a look at the top recruits that we've brought in. There are some that are going to have a chance as true freshmen. And then you have players like Carlos Cash, who as redshirt freshmen will be asked to take on a big role. And I just kind of want to see what this season looks like and run it back with a very different team that's going to have to be, reconstructed and then find a new way to win. Because what we brought into this year is not what we're bringing into next season whatsoever. I talked about at the beginning of the year how many seniors were on this team. Like, so much went into this year of the team. Brian Maddox coming in the portal, likely now declares to the NFL draft. You've got all these seniors, a lot of experience between these guys. We have major players moving on at basically every position group. Quarterback, running back, multiple receivers, 3 tight ends, 4 of 5 offensive linemen. And then you've got, 3 edge rushers, 4 of our top edge rushers. Jeffrey Brazil maybe declares. So we'll see. We'll see what this year looks like. I'm excited for it. I appreciate the super chat there, Ian. I love your content. Sad to see this series go, but excited for the future. Hey, we still got another year. And so my plan is to do year 9 and have it be, a fairly quick season, multi-game episodes and everything. I'm not planning on doing a season 10, but you never know where my head's going to be at when the season ends. If I feel like there's like one more year of unfinished business somehow, somewhere. But if I end up doing a season 10, it's going to be knocked out very quickly. And right now, I don't think it's going to happen. The month of June, I'll be focusing on the Twins franchise. I want to work on finishing the Steelers franchise properly, as that hasn't had an upload in like 3 months. I was working on the Snowhawks, and then with the Twins being new and doing well as a series, and then us chasing a title here this season, I thought, let's just stick to 2 series for now. Let's keep it a little bit simpler. And the Steelers will still get its finale. I know a lot of you have been waiting for that. Could I do a dynasty like the Miami Hurricanes dynasty last year? I don't think I'm as interested now in doing a rebuild style dynasty. I think that, I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think it's like my familiarity with the NFL that makes it easier for me to do that series, whereas in college football, like the rosters can change a lot year to year, and it feels for me like it's way easier if I'm focused on playing rather than watching, and I don't know the teams as well. It just felt to me like I was more in my element doing the Madden version of that series versus the Hurricanes on CFB 25. So here are the final stats then. Remember, we're moving on from so much experience. 64 games played at quarterback for Gerald Ogletree. Brian Maddox, the Heisman winner. Don't expect him back. Multiple receivers out the door, including Kenneth Agood, Sean Coates. 58 games played by Jimmy Mangum. 55 for Kalen Landry. 50 for Dennis Pape. And defensively, Isaiah Harris leaves. It becomes an easier conversation to talk about, like, all right, who's coming back? Like, all the stars of last year, outside of a couple, are gone. Vernon Fantus, I think, probably declares. The biggest names returning for me are going to be wide receiver Christian Fine, who had his good breakout this season, and linebacker Tyree Figueroa, hopefully. But other than these two guys, I don't know what the team's going to look like. It's simply going to change too much. But we do have the chance, I think, a very rare chance. Like, how often in my series, in like year 8, 9, anything beyond the first couple of years, would you really see me playing true freshmen? This is a championship team, and I think multiple true freshmen are going to play immediately, and not just at running back. So we're going to get into the offseason, and let's see where things take us today. Thank you all for joining me for the final offseason stream of the Arkansas State Dynasty. Yeah, Figueroa should stay, on the team, and I think that's a huge player to have coming back, our tackle for loss leader. Brian Maddox, what's another award? He's got like 17 of them this year. I think I filled my staff and everything too. Is the music level good for y'all? Is it too loud or anything? I ordered my Brian Maddox poster. I need a Brian Maddox poster. What a legend. Yeah, allow me to create a new save point. I think it's been a while since I made one. I think I did last year. I have not played the new Forza Horizon yet. I was waiting, ideally, for it to come out on PS5, but I've been seeing all the good talk about it, so definitely getting the itch. I love the Horizon series, and I still remember when I was introduced to the first Forza Horizon game, and it was like, the first of its kind. It wasn't the first, like, open world racer, but it was definitely, like, something new, and I love that first game. I've played a lot of the others. I've been playing Saros on PS5 because, like, I really liked Returnal. I wrapped that game up actually pretty recently so I can move on to Saros. Been playing some Resident Evil 4. I beat Pokemon Violet recently. I actually really liked that game. I beat Borderlands 4 in co-op. Will there be a long-term sim for this series? So, I think I've kind of reached a point where I'm not really a huge fan of long-term sims. They're not really fun to put together, and I'm not sure they're as satisfying as they sound like they're going to be. It's a good idea to, like, wrap a series up and know it's, like, the end. But I think I more so enjoy just, like, ending, and then that file is there if I ever want to return for any reason in the future. And like this series might be perfect for that when you look at how young this team could be after year 9. You know, I've gotten used to lately really long recording sessions. It began with like the Snowhawks. And all of a sudden now, instead of sitting down to record for like 2 hours, you know, I was like having 6 to 10 hours of recording done for a video. And it's gotten normal for me to like play 4 hours of the show multiple times a week and then turn that into episodes. And I think I'm getting to the point where it's easier for me to do that denser content, not just make longer videos, but the videos are so dense and full of stuff that like the idea of returning to a series for an extra year, if I ever want to in the future, it sounds more approachable. All right. This is the first, you know, this is the big thing here. Players leaving. We know a lot of seniors are leaving, but how many juniors will declare? The house rules are still the same. Any running back that declares, I will not try to convince, nor anybody projected in rounds 1 through 3. All right. Players leaving. Who is exiting our championship program? Here you go. Brian Maddox, round 1. Vernon Fantus, round 3. Jeffrey Brazil, round 4. And then James Patino as a transfer looks to enter the portal. So by my rules, I can try to convince Jeffrey Brazil, but I have a low persuasion chance. And then all these players graduating. That's a lot of draft picks. All right. Let's see if we can convince Jeffrey Brazil to stick around, because I mean, I don't know of many players that are going to be here that we're familiar with. Success. Jeffrey Brazil is staying. There we go. But Fantus will go to the draft. So will Brian Maddox. Yeah, pro potential at linebacker. Patino wants to try elsewhere. Are you kidding me? Very low chance of persuasion. And he's gone. So, Brian Maddox declares as we expect. Vernon Fantus as well. Let's sort it by overall. Here's everything we're losing. Maddox, Harris, Agud, Pape, Coates, Fantus, Mangum, Landry, Adeyemi, Orndorff, Cheeks, Bradford. Every year I put together a depth chart of like our team so I know like everybody's number and who everybody is, and it's going to be completely redone, it seems. Yeah, we'll see if we could still bring back Patino in the transfer portal. That's still possible. I do have some points to spend. Is there anything I want? Increased chance to sway. We can make receivers more interested in transferring. Might be a good idea. That's only 8 points. We'll buy that. I am really interested in what this all is going to look like in year 9. All right, here are the draft results. Our Red Wolves sent 3 players to the first round. Maddox, Agud, and Isaiah Harris. Coates, Pape went in round 2. Mangum, Landry, Adeyemi, Fantus all went in round 3. Orndorff in round 4. Cheeks round 5. Bradford round 6. That's a steal. And Dontre Guyon round 7. 13 players go to the NFL draft this season. Meanwhile, Alabama, they had 11. How about Georgia? Not as many this year. You're not going to send 13 every season, but they did lose their quarterback in Ty Weaver. Hopefully we battle with Georgia again this next year. I feel like I want one more against them. Was Ogletree not drafted? No. Gerald Ogletree ends up Undrafted. Not even a 7th round flyer, guys. Would you draft Gerald Ogletree? Where would you take him? With that much experience and a big arm, winning a national championship, you know the NFL would take him pretty early. Let's be honest. I think even with some of the negatives in his game, he'd be like a round 1-2 guy. To replace Jordan Ta'amu as the GOAT to the UFL. Rams taking in with the 14th pick. Well, I think actually, like, we talk about, like, lack of playing time as kind of a negative. But I think, like, we've seen enough of these inexperienced quarterbacks go early. Mitch Trubisky, Anthony Richardson, Ty Simpson. I think teams look at the unknown as, like, high potential. And if a guy had 13 starts and looked good, and you're thinking, like, okay, we can take him a couple more levels because he's inexperienced, therefore he's a first-round pick. Did Ogletree put too much on tape? All right, let's get to the transfer portal. Gonna have to take a couple guys off the board, but already this is a really good class for us. We have a quarterback in Cameron Bernhardt. We brought in 2 running backs, George Big Hill and Cordell Melvin. And the plan at running back is to let these top 2 prospects lead the backfield. I don't want to go into the portal and put anybody in their way. Unless there's a Brian Maddox out there. But, like, you've got to be the top running back in the portal, for, I think, for me to be interested. Because I'm more interested in playing true freshmen. And we have Javier Abbott. I think he ends up potentially playing early. You know, 86 speed isn't great, but the route running is solid. And I'm also thinking about, like, the development over the course of their rookie year with these high dev traits. And they may just be worth playing. You know, Cam Lyles at center with elite dev. Some of these guys are going to find their way onto the field. How about in the secondary, Kane Akers? We just sent a couple, you know, draft picks to the NFL there. But I do think corner is a spot where we do need to look at the portal again. All right, so let me clean up my board a little bit because we will be doing some work in the portal. Like, I have to go actually see what we need. It's a little too uncomfortable right now with how many players left. Let me just check some deal breakers. Can I not see them here? I don't think I flipped anybody. So I'll take all these guys off the board. Just 5 high school players on our draft board or our recruiting board right now. What I think of the Vikings schedule release video, I wasn't expecting Chris Jericho to have such a huge role in it. And it was Chris Jericho and Will Reichard. I definitely wasn't expecting that. All right, so what do we need? We just got to see our class a little bit there. You know, we'll see what's at quarterback, but this could finally be the Matt Priester year y'all been waiting for. Running back, unless you can throw a Brian Maddox my way, I'm playing the freshman. Wide receiver, yeah, because we have Christian Fine, Marvin, our top receiver prospect. We could use another guy. Tight end for sure. Tight end, very needy. I might be playing a true freshman there as well. Carlos Cash, I think, starts. Casa should start at left guard. We have young centers and a really good prospect who could start there immediately. And we have Joshua Hayden here who could take a step. So I think like a lot of positions are on the table, but they've got to be really good players because we already have young guys ready to step in. DJ McElroy at edge. There's a young player who's going to get a chance. We need edge. I'd say edge is a high priority. Edge, tight end. Brazil stays, so that's huge. Defensive tackle would be nice, though. Figueroa is here. Judovsky. Alfonso Ahmad. We definitely need more just linebackers. Like the numbers are starting to get thin. And cornerback. We need a corner. And probably safeties, considering we lost our top 3 guys. I'm not sure our secondary can run it back, you know, and successfully replace this secondary. All right, here's the transfer portal. Eyeing the top of the board. No 5 stars? All right, so the top quarterback is Clyde Burgess from Georgia. They just had Achane go pro and 2 players enter the portal. Dontrell Augustine. Do we put him on the board? We have a top-ranked receiver in Cam Holly. We have a linebacker, so we're getting the positions we're looking for. A guard in Fabian Devi. Those numbers are really good. 1,100 downs played, 1 sack allowed. And so the best running back is LaMichael Shabazz, who didn't get a lot of playing time a year ago, and he's under 200 pounds. You're not thinking of him as like a between the tackles guy. I'm not sure I'm interested there. Antoine Spicer. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to scout some of these guys. But I really don't think I'm all that intrigued by the running back class. I should still scout a couple of them. All right, what can you give me at corner? Yeah, I can move face cam. My bad. We're always better off in the lower left here during the off seasons. Yeah, unfortunately, corner is pretty thin. We have a couple options that fit, but a lot of guys not considering us. Safety's a high priority. I can only put 1 4-star on the board there. How about D tackle? Taekwon Tiffin. So we're going to go for the top players here in the transfer portal that we can. I should scout a lot of receivers. There's just too many skill sets out there, and it might be good to just scout a bunch. Then at tight end, David Farrell. Maybe even a high 3-star. All right, that's 35. All right, so let me sort this by position just so it's a little bit cleaner. Are y'all still playing CFB 26, or what are you guys playing these days? You know, ideally, I didn't want to be still playing CFB in late May, but I didn't do what I had to do to end the series earlier, so here I am. I'd love to get to the point where I'm better containing these series to their respective, like, sport seasons, and having the content be a little bit more seasonal. I think we're going to need more defense on this board. Old school RuneScape. You're dumping a lot of hours into that. I remember playing RuneScape back in the day. Why did that grip so many of us? God, it's one of the best number go up simulators out there. Thank you for the 10 months of membership, Finalizing. Yes, I do have a quarterback on our board. We could have a little bit of a competition. You know, and Priester's ratings have never been, like, significantly better than, say, Ogletree in really any area. So, I mean, here's Dontrell Augustine. We've got speed, throw power, high accuracy. If you want the best quarterback on this team for year 9, we may have to see if Augustine wants to come to Arkansas State. Gerald Ogletree's pro ceiling is Bryce Young and his floor is Stetson Bennett. We need a Saints Anthony Richardson type final run at quarterback. Maybe Augustine is that guy. All right, here are the running backs I put on the board. Do we have any skill sets here we want to add into what we have? And I don't mind like an RB3. Think about like Bradley Durham. Like we still have to replace him. So could Coney Wongwu here just be an RB3? A guy like an innings eater. Like a 5th starter innings eater. 5 innings, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts type of guy. But not necessarily actually play like significant snaps. Just be there in case. You know, we'll see the ratings on these freshmen. But I think I could be interested in Wongwu in a role, just not a key role. And then Shabazz. He's got speed. The spin and juke are pretty low, though. So how is he creating extra yards that aren't blocked for him? He's a really good pass catcher. But I do think Wongwu kind of fits the role that I'm looking for. And I'm putting a lot into the idea of playing... Where is he? Cordell Melvin is kind of your shifty running back archetype. 81 juke, 72 spin. And then Big Hill. He is your downhill between the tackles running back. Neither is a great pass catcher right now. So both running backs here kind of fit. Now wide receiver, Cam Holly. We're looking for starting outside receiver. That's a starting outside skill set. Platinum Press Pro, sure hands. I want Cam Holly. I'll scout the other receivers. Route running here on Chad Easter's pretty good. Skipping over the other receivers for the time being. Kyrie Doyle at tight end. I think that'd be a pretty good addition. Do you guys think that the transfer portal kind of cheapens these series a little bit? Like, you see a lot of movement in real life, and so, like, it's a huge part of just college football in general. But, like, it really shortcuts a lot of things here for sure. Nah, it's the fun part. No, it's real life. This donation goes to the Arkansas State NIL Collective. Conspicuously named MrHurriicane's Chipotle Fund, but maybe we better spend convincing a free agent to sign with the Twins. Thank you, JS, for the super chat. That might help us land a difference maker this year. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Run block power. You know, that's the thing I'm worried about with us losing all the offensive linemen. We're guaranteed to be, like, worse. But how much? And I'm expecting the running game to be very different in year 9. Tyquan Tiffin. Not sure that's enough pass rushing, but I just saw the run defending. And for that reason, I'm on board. We got a Jeffrey Brazil. Jeffrey Brazil can be our... Oh, man. How am I drawing a blank now? I was just... Caleb Banks. Jeffrey Brazil can be our Caleb Banks. Tyquan Tiffin can be our Dominique Orange. Really good tackler here in J.C. Keith. All right. .82 zone coverage compared to 76. Still got room for a few more offers here. Which team do you think would have won if they met in the Natty? This year's Arkansas State or first Natty Kalispell? Wow. Oh, man. I feel like this team might have been more complete. Like, we had all those turnovers, a Heisman-winning running back. If those two went head-to-head, I think Arkansas State makes a couple more defensive plays to be the difference, and the running game was elite. And the best offense... This is one of the best offensive lines I've had in any series, like, ever. Under 30 sacks, paved the way for a Heisman-winning running game, and they were dominant against some high-level opponents. Corner. Good athlete. Coverage needs some more work, but we can't really be picky. Who you're seeing on the board are the best prospects that we have a chance to get. So that's what we're doing. All right, my board is full. So at this point, how many of these high school players do I really still want? The number 14 prospect, I think so. How have you not made a decision yet? Philip Wing, what are you waiting for? Actually, I should probably be doing a hard sell here. The Jamari Akinjide Award for the player who somehow still had eligibility goes to Max Dorsey. I think that's like the funniest thing in college football. Just like the guys where you're like, how is he still there? It's been like 10 years. All right, Brian Sylvan at receiver. Like, these players are on the board for a reason. I may have to take some off the board. I have two gems at receiver sitting right here as well. For sure, I need to hard sell here. But now we're looking at my points being pretty thin. $25 remaining. So we've got a quarterback offer, two receivers, two tight ends, a guard. I feel like maybe one more offensive lineman? And Matthew Priester gets taken off the board and Matt Priester is getting replaced. Tough day for the Priester family. Hey, we'll see. You know, the portal has not been an easy... You know, I've added a lot of players, but It's not like I'm hitting for the highest success rate. We're just always going for a lot of different targets. That was a high school player, wasn't it? Or was that a transfer? Yeah, I need to go to the portal. Are we going to get the Miami Dolphins rebuild that we were scammed out of, since they are an interesting spot with the roster? It's a really good year for a Miami series, honestly. And I have felt a slight debt to Dolphins fans that have had some false starts with NFL head coach and Madden 19. I haven't forgot about y'all. I have done a Marlins series. I have done a Hurricane series. I made myself take a year off of Miami teams. They're going to be a great candidate for this year's. All right, I'm just going to go scholarship and throw 10 points on this one. All right. That's going to be our first stage then. It looks like our quarterback situation is going to be decided by either Priester or Dontrell Augustine. If we come in high enough on the board, we'll see. Playing time is his deal breaker. Ours is an A+ for him. That looks good. Who is the worst team in the league in your estimation in the NFL right now? I mean, Miami's a pretty good contender. If you've seen their receiver depth chart, and Malik Willis is going to be, their new quarterback, and he's very inexperienced. Granted, that it looked really good in Green Bay. But it's not easy for quarterbacks to show promise in one city and then translate that to another. It fails a lot. And when your top receiver is like Malik Washington and Jalen Tolbert and a third-round rookie, it could be tough. Yeah, Cardinals are in a very bad spot with some stuff, obviously. Quarterback, they have a Jacoby Brissett, basically holding out right now. Those two apparently not close for a deal. Do y'all remember when Andrew Luck abruptly retired from the Colts, and the Indy gave him a raise, I think to $10 million at that time. So this is not the same situation at all, but it's like Jacoby becomes kind of your best option. He got paid when Luck retired, and he wants to get paid again here. This is one of his best, maybe last chance for him at this type of deal. That was crazy. I think that I heard that news live during a preseason game. It was very abrupt. Because it wasn't like the beginning of preseason. I remember it being middle of preseason. All right. We're still battling here for wing. It looks like, did they set up a visit? Because there's no way they got a week 2 regular season visit. That could be a loss. All right, Dontrell Augustine. A lot of teams are interested. We are not alone. I think we need to make sure we get a visit with him and try to make it complimentary. So with quarterbacks, what is it? Is it offensive line and other skill players, or is it just O-line? All right, good start there with Cam Hawley, Chad Easter. How many of these pitches did I get by chance? Coach stability and playing time. We may have narrowed it down somewhat. We have the clutch. I feel like that is used very sparingly. Was that the only possibility? If so, that's really good for us. But at the same time, playing style is not very good here. So we might know the answer, but that grade is not ideal. Appreciate the super chat, RD. Last year's secondary would go live and have tip drill playing in the locker room. I hope that we can reload that secondary because, man, like that's my game there. A playmaking, ball hawking secondary is like everything I want to build. Grigson is not the Vikings GM, but he's definitely high up in the organization. I forget his like title. If it's like director of player personnel or something, like when the Vikings brought in Kwesi, he was kind of brought in to be his right-hand man as just somebody who had experience in a front office. And as far as I'm aware, he has not interviewed for the full-time GM job. So quarterbacks are all offensive players except running back. So Augustine, he would be available now, but the receivers aren't. Major Lock would be. I should schedule him for week 3 to make sure I get it. And, like, nobody else scheduled in week 2, so there's no reason for me to schedule in week 2, because if I schedule for week 3, then I block them for at least a week. And so, if the clutch is right, playing time... Okay, we already know playing time is an A+, so we're going to schedule and do the play time. And you got to go 50 points on him. Coney Wongwu. I didn't even get points on him. I can now because I won't be doing as much scouting. Shabazz, we fell. We're just going to take the L there. We need space on the board to maybe throw a couple more players up there. Chad Easter, that one ain't looking great. So, ooh. Might have missed the chance there on Joy. I don't like any of these 3 battles. Yeah, Jeffrey Brazil came back, thankfully. Let's go 50 here. I don't have very much information on him yet. Tyquan Tiffin has a lot of interest. All right, Terrence Tull, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Jerome Chansey. And then Reed Kern. We're in 3rd place there. So yeah, some of these spots are definitely a little tricky. Oh yeah, Tiffin Does look pretty interesting as a run defender primarily. A lot of big schools going after him. All right. I might have to take these receivers off. I might even have to take Easter off. Because the board space is just too valuable right now. At least we're in first for Holly. But I should find another defensive tackle. And a receiver. And a quarterback. If there's one high enough rated. Tiffin almost has Puna Ford build. What was his build? Is he under 6 foot? (6'1", 333. Okay. I like that. Call that natural leverage. He's the only 4-star available. So we might have to go carry a good speed rusher. I don't think is the archetype we want. I think we want either power rusher or gap specialist. Kenny, I appreciate the 27 months, but you take care of yourself. This will be available later. I hope you're doing all right. So at quarterback, we put Augustine on the board. We're 4th. And then there is Evan Trout. We could try to get into that mix. No offers yet on Denton Schlereth. So we should probably see if he's a good enough contender. I'm not sure a 3-star quarterback, especially with the top options not working out. Yeah, we're not going to go there. Oh, what a catch. Austin Martin, that was scary. I think Twins going for the sweep here. They've had a pretty good weekend in Boston. Let's find a receiver. So Easter we took off the board. Joy and Cone we took off the board. Now you're talking 3s. So maybe one of the top 3s. And then I need a defensive tackle for sure. Oh yeah, I already went over these players too. All right, so I got a couple on the board there. Let's get back and fix this up. The way I sort my board, man, it just like, it calms the chaos here of the off season. I have to do it this way. All right, Denton Schlereth. So there's a big gap. We could, just look for depth at the quarterback position. If Lemon never transferred away, this would have been so much simpler. I could scout Trout. He might just be, it's more of a losing battle because we'd be further behind, but maybe it's just still better that way anyway. Like, Torrey Childs is the best young quarterback prospect we have. He does have star dev. He is a 3-star. There's still upside. So I don't think we have to force that quarterback on the board right now. I think we need a better option if we're going to get into this. You guys like Schlereth, or a couple of you do? He's going into his junior season. The mobility helps, but the accuracy feels like pretty risky to me. I got room for that other quarterback. Oh, I haven't really done much with edge. How the edge rusher's looking. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Can I really get into this battle? Georgia. Georgia edge rusher there. All right, Demario Mangold is a 3-star in the portal, 82 power. Yeah, I think we need to try getting him. All right, Pat Stewart, 84 power, 73 shed. Young, too, freshman going into sophomore year, so we'll give him an offer. I might have to get another safety option, but there are just only so many spots on the board available. Man, I want Tiffin, but that is such a steep hill to climb. Academic prestige is his top need, and we're an F. I got to take him off the board. About to have a conversation here with some of the higher ups at the university. Y'all tanking my program here with your poor academics. I wanted him, but man, you gotta pick your shots. 95 medium. I've seen enough. Good route runner here. Terrell Breeze. No offers. And then with Schlereth. Let me see that other quarterback. I got the points to make a run. Evan Trout. I appreciate that, Aqua. It was a very fun run, a special year. I'm happy that I did not end up completely blowing the second playoff game. Evan Trout, also a freshman. For sure getting an offer. Schlereth, I might just put points, but no offer yet. Anybody else need points? All 50s there. All right, I'm putting points, but no offer for Denton Schlereth. I did not set up any other visits. I wanted to wait on some of the receivers to see if they'd become available for visits next week. Just got into MLB again since I was a kid. Picked the Rockies as my favorite team. Why'd you do that? I feel for the Rockies, man. We're going to lose Philip Wing. And there ain't nothing I can do about it. Maybe I should have saved his visit for the offseason. Yeah, that's a loss. Oh, man. Got a visit to overcome here. He's going to UNC. All right, here are the quarterbacks. Augustine still has us low on the board, but this is visit week here. Was I right on the pitch? I was. We are locked out for Trout and Schlereth. I put points into this battle, man. All right. That's a loss. That's a loss. First for Wong Wu. Second suddenly for Holly. So I already know this is going to be a visit week. I know he has pro potential. I guess we'll double check. Let's double check to see if we have any other grades we could figure out. I might just have to take the B+ though. Because this one could fit, Sunday player. But that one could fit. Conference Prestige fits both of those. So it looks like between one of the two, like Conference Prestige has to be something he wants. So I think we probably set that up as the pitch. Should we soft sell both? All right. First place here for Haddad. 5'10", 168. I do want to finish this off, actually. Medium route running and short route running are good. We don't know the release. All right, so we're first place there for a couple receivers. Oh, yeah, Platinum Cutter. Press Pro Platinum. Man, I need to get Cam Holly. The tight ends have us 1 and 3. We're in better shape for Doyle. Third place here for Major Lock with a visit this week at Oklahoma. We're losing that one. We're in better shape here for Devi. Pat Stewart. So I should probably add another safety to the board. But I think I'm going to set up week 4 as my more defensive visits. Pro potential as an A grade. Let's get a week 4 visit on Reed Kern. Yeah, I'm not sure how many offensive linemen we need. Like, it wouldn't be bad to add a little depth, but I really don't think we need starters that badly. I consider Carlos Cash to be one. Josh Casa, left guard, returning starter. Center, Joey Gage may take a step. Plus, we have a top prospect. A guard, I've already tried to get a guard. And then Joshua Hayden, I think, at right tackle. So I really don't think that it's in a tough spot. It's mostly like, the numbers are themselves just getting thin. And yes, I do have a 5-star in Raheem Lasco at tackle. And I have Xavier Goodwin. Now, Lasco's the 5-star. But like with those run game ratings, I think he has to be redshirted. Goodwin's more well-rounded. But I don't think there's a spot for a freshman tackle to play. Here's the center, Cam Lyles. Ratings are pretty solid, but he is a 4-star. I'm doing well. Noah, how are you doing? All right. Let's see if we can get some hard sells taken care of. I got nothing here on a Wongwu. Cam Holly, we've already done the double soft sell. Doyle, we got it all. We're going to double soft sell this one for David Farrell. For Devi, we got Prestige, Contender, and Coach Prestige. So we actually have all three here. Pat Stewart, Mangold, and then Keith. Yeah, we have all three here. Playing style, conference, prestige. All right. Terrence Tull. We got Coach Prestige, Championship Contender. We're just going to double soft sell as many of these as we can here in Stage 3. Yeah, we got to find someone that can replace Harris. Ideally, somebody that can cover and still allow me to take Figueroa and blitz him and be more creative. Pro potential is all we got here. All right, let me scout another safety then. Here are the 4s, not many options. Switching to threes, we've got player 130. And the strong safeties, yeah, we're just not getting a strong safety. Quincy Northrup. We know him. We know that name. Ezekiel DeBeer hit the portal again? Yeah, he still hasn't found the proper home. Where was he at? Oh, there he is. Yeah. Arkansas State to Arkansas. Might still stay in the SEC. We'll see. What about, I didn't really check on, it might be too late now, but at linebacker, we obviously lost Patino. Yeah, he's gone. Could be going to Alabama, FSU, Florida. Seventh-year senior. Yeah, Ezekiel DeBeer's had a long college career. Someone's got to see how long it's actually been. He might have just stuck around for a few years to see if anybody would notice. Putting another edge rusher on the board. And then I would not mind like a young freshman. At tackle. Just to add some depth. All right, Quincy Northrup. I know I've definitely recruited you. Might be a late offer player. Jordan Odhiambo. Might be intriguing enough for an offer at edge with how needy we are. Yeah, Eric Trainer. And from there, I think we need to sort out visits in week 3. So it's Cam Holly and Dontrell Augustine for the time being. Coney Wongwu would be one candidate. Any close O-line battles? I think Devi is enough of a need considering how much we could just use a stable guard addition. And then I think we jam Coney Wongwu into this one. Playing style is an A. And then defense is going to be the focus there in week 4. So I already have Reed Kern. Is Chancey the man cover guy? Yeah, he is. So Chancey's going to get week 4. And then it's really competitive on J.C. Keith. We could use a boost for Stephen Cotton. A+ play style. All right, so I got to set up that last visit. I can still set up a visit in week 4, right? If I want to. And then there are a bunch of these now I need to up to 50. So I don't have to schedule the last one quite yet if I want to try letting like one more player open up. don't think I need the extra points on Doyle. So I got 35 remaining. Might just stick the rest on Northrop then. And did I ever take the top player off the board wing? No. So I should probably concede defeat here. What do you guys think? Take him off? Concede. Do not. They only jumped with a visit. Keep, keep. All right, we can keep. Can we get it back? Is the question. I guess I offered there. Whoops. That's all right. I flip these type of battles. All right, we're going on to the final week then of off-season recruiting. Got locked out there for Northrop. Oh, come on. Dontrell Augustine just committed to Miami. Wow. Not over. But if you were hoping to bring in a star quarterback to this team, Dontrell Augustine has chosen the Hurricanes. Maybe we play them this year. They've been a really good team in this series. They beat us in a playoff game, and now they've got the star quarterback we wanted to add. Miami might be on the short list. All right, so we're in good shape for Wong Wu. We're back in front for Holly, and nobody else got a visit. No one's trying to get Haddad. No one's trying to get Breeze or Doyle. How'd we get deal breaker? All of a sudden, the deal breaker's bad. Well, we're probably getting Doyle, so that's the way it goes. Big lead there for Devi, Trainer, Stewart. Odiambo moves us up. Arkansas says, no, we want him. Ah, we lost this one for J.C. Keith. Hopefully the visit flips us there for Cotton. And then I have to look at my soft sells and see what we learned there. Ooh, this is going to be tight here for Reed Kern. All right, let me take care of my soft hard sells. I don't even have one yet for Wong Wu. Could be Sunday Player. Could be Gamer. All right. So we'll do a double soft sell there. All right, it's Sunday Player on Holly. Doesn't really matter here if no one else is offering. I don't have any pitches besides that one. Playing time is all we got, so do we have enough information here? Campus personality. Primetime player. All right. J.C. Keith. But we're probably losing that one. What is Gomez doing here in the Twins game? Boston just with the tying run on in the 9th inning. Nobody out. This one is aspirational goals. I thought about like my recap of this video not getting its own video and just kind of being tied into the start of the year and just recapping it a lot shorter. What do you guys think of that? Rather than just like condense the off season, really just hit on like, all right, here's what happened. Here's the team we got now. I feel like it could be a little bit shorter this time around and part of like week 1 and 2. Videos are just getting denser. Let's keep it going. You guys seem to like that idea rather than just a whole episode of this. It's not really an off-season worth a focus. You know, a lot's happening, but where we are in the series, it doesn't really make sense. Can't believe we couldn't get the top quarterback, guys. Sunday player. Has to be it. All right, so we've done that. There's still room for one more visit. Kern is there, Chansey's there, Cotton is there. Odiambo, Mangold is a tight battle. You want a tight battle here. And if there was an offensive player, we didn't need it to be complimentary if just someone needs this. But I think that we only have one option, so probably going to be Mangold. Unless we already add a player that has us top 5, I guess we might as well take a look at the portal. Box specialist isn't really an archetype I like very much. Now let's see like all 4 stars that are unoffered. Man, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is just on a new team every year. And I remember he's still in the league. He's got a chance to walk off the Twins here. And he just did. Are you kidding me? It's off the monster. It's not over, but it might tie the game. Deep fly off the monster. Tying run is out. Wow. Third base coach for Boston has some rough sends in this series. 2 outs, 1 run game. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on second base. All right, so here are all the 4-star zeros, including an edge rusher. That's huge. Including a linebacker. That's potentially huge. All right, I have such a tight board, though I can only put a couple on at a time. I thought he hit that out. That looked good off the bat. Maybe the rain falling on the ball as it traveled to left center field. Kept it in the park. Yeah, I'm interested here in Tony Addison as a last-second addition. Please manually upgrade one off and defensive player. It's like an all-or-nothing thing, is it not? I haven't really wanted to go with the manual upgrading here. I have 35 on the board. That's the problem now, is I can't scout anybody else if I keep everybody here. All right. We're going to let Hooks go to Wisconsin, create that last spot. Because what if I need this? You can manually upgrade if you want a bit and then go auto upgrades. You can mass upgrade the rest. I've never turned that on before. Appreciate the super chat. I didn't know you could, you know, maybe if there's one guy. I could totally see it if there's a player where, like, you're trying to fixate his role, like something specific that you know is not going to happen naturally. Say it's like, you know, let's say like an offensive lineman and you just want to go all in on like run blocking or something, or a receiver and you're like wanting to go all in on catching or route running. Quarterback upgrades, yeah, I could definitely see it for that. You're really rolling the dice there every time. I enjoy the unpredictability, though. Because, like, what I like to do in these games is, like, problem solve. And if I'm given too many tools to, like, limit how many problems I could potentially face, it's kind of taking some of the fun out of that for me. That's why, like, you know, I want injuries to play a role. I ideally like to have wear and tear playing a role, but I couldn't really find a good balance with it. Like, it doesn't bother me if things play out in a flawed way to an extent. There are definitely times where it's like, all right, this is clearly broken and I want to step in. I try to do that universally for, like, if there's a position, you know, that needs to be addressed in, like, Madden. You know, I just don't have enough options here on the board. Enough room. Like, do we have a candidate? That's what I'm saying, just one from each side. Should we explore it, guys? I haven't done it ever. Maybe I pick my players beforehand, like Cash, knowing he's probably going to be a starter. And then maybe that's the left tackle. And then maybe there's a linebacker or something. Just to test it out. We'll explore. We'll do something a little bit different. Will you consider Maryland for your CFB 27 Dynasty? Thank you for the super chat. You know, I don't know what's going to happen yet in CFB 27 because I've focused so much on the 2 CFB games the last 2 years. And I'm thinking now, like, do I want to do another big dynasty already? Do I want to try maybe holding out to do a Madden franchise on the main channel again? Because I haven't done that since the Titans series. I really don't know yet. I'm going to have to just get into CFB 27 and see how much I like the game. and, you know, just evaluate, like, do I want to spend another huge chunk of time on another series with this? I've enjoyed playing the game immensely, but it has been really all I've done on the main channel outside of the Snowhawks for the better of 2 years. So I'm trying not to commit to anything right now, because I feel like I only have room for one big series. And it's kind of in the same, you know, game for the last couple of years. Holy smokes. Dude, the rain in Boston is crazy right now. They've had to rake the mound, and then Gomez just had a bad balk because he slipped, and now he hit the batter. And good thing he did, because if it was a wild pitch, game would be tied. So, like, I know for sure, like, I'm going to play CFB 27, and I've just kind of debated on doing, like, a shorter dynasty, where it's, like, maybe some simming in there, like a Snowhawks style series, but a dynasty that way. Just because I might want to do a Madden series, so I'm just kind of taking it, like, I'll see how the game is and what I want to do when it's out, and we'll just go from there. Yeah, the rain looks pretty nasty. They're definitely just trying to get this game over with right now, because these are not optimal baseball conditions. All right, I want to get this wrapped up here, the recruiting portion. Is there another position I can target here as like a little bit of a need? Ben Borghi. He looks fine. Let me check my safeties out. See how interested I really am. I don't have that many. That's the thing. So I need players. So I guess we will target Borghi. I did not have a safety in my high school draft recruiting class. Got 3 edge, 3 linebackers. Probably lose on Keith. Maybe a running back, a couple of receivers coming in, maybe even 3. Doyle, Devi. Got a D tackle likely winning that battle. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more I think I need at this point. Well, the Twins made a pitching change. Maybe somebody with some dry spikes. Come on, Travis Adams. Just wrap this up. Hit to right to Martin. Caught. Game over. Twins sweep the Red Sox if it's only a 3-game set. Nice job. That is a 1-pitch save he just had. Thanks for such a great dynasty, on par with Kalispell. Yeah, you know, Kalispell being a team builder, being such a long series, I still think, like, I don't think that's been topped. I think, like, the videos are made better nowadays, but in terms of, like, the impact and story of the series, I still gotta go with Kalispell. Especially with a lot of those players having a pro career already on the channel. All right, let me do one more thing then. I'm going to look at gadget receivers and just see if I can find one. Because I really can't think of anything else to look into. Oh, I wasn't in the portal. You're right. I'm still going to scout him. Not dynamic enough. Dalton Cone. Probably can't win that battle. Yeah, I just don't have the options. I try to spend my hours. I mean, we've had some good late finds in the portal before, so I'd hate to just, like, throw them away. But I have been here a while. I have been pretty thorough. I think 3-star tight ends are probably about the best thing we could do here. D'Angelo Ezekiel. That's a 2-star, but he's fast. For a 2-star, that's not bad, guys. D'Angelo Ezekiel. Last player. We need more tight ends. Not bad for a 2-star, legitimately. Now, I don't think I ever scheduled that last visit, right? I was waiting. So, I do need to free up 15. So, let me get those 15 back. All right. That should be it. We are done with recruiting. And here's what we've got going into next season. Brian Sylvan commits. Which receiver was he now? I'll have to sort it all out later. But Cam Holly, I knew he was one of my top targets. Fabian Devi, we got a guard. Stephen Cotton. D'Angelo Ezekiel. Pat Stewart. Terrell Breeze. I think we're going to add 3 receivers here. We got Haddad. We got Jerome Chancey at cornerback. Wong Wu, Kyrie Doyle, DeMario Mangold, Terrence Tull, Trainer at tackle, Jordan Odiambo, Tony Addison, Richard Ware. I missed out on Ryan Kern, that means. All right, signing day. Philip Wing did go to Ole Miss. Okay, Sylvan was the last high school receiver. All right, so we added the running back, 3 receivers, 2 tight ends, guard, tackle, D-tackle, 3 edges, 2 linebackers, 2 corners. Missed on Borgie. Really? I didn't see that coming. All in all, that is the #1 recruiting class in the country. For the first time, we were #1. 5 5-stars, including 5 of the 6 best players. That's crazy. Team's going to look different. Team's going to look younger this season. Check dev traits. All right, here are dev traits. Impact on Sylvan. We knew a lot of the dev traits for the already recruited players. That's why I was feeling so good about true freshmen potentially playing. Let's see. Wongwu impact. Star on Holly. Haddad has star. Breeze has star. Doyle has star. Devi has star. Normal there. Star again. Impact. Impact. Star. We didn't get him. Stephen Cotton, elite. Richard Ware. Elite on Terrence Tull. Star on Chansey. A lot of good dev traits here, guys. Appreciate the channel membership there, Blazing. Every month I do a channel member exclusive live stream where I talk about the 2 channels and hang out for a couple hours, or like hour and a half usually. Those happen at the end of every month, so I'll be scheduling the May member stream here in the next couple days. Position changes. All right, I think the door is finally wide open for Priester. He may have to hold off Torrey Childs taking a big leap, though. But that would, take a considerable accuracy bump. So, Wongwu's going to come in as an 87. Big Hill is an 81. Melvin is 78. But I think you're still going to see me favor the true freshman running backs. Unless Wongwu, really outclasses them in a significant way. Barry LaFell can be like a specialized pass catcher. So it might be kind of a 4 running back deal after really focusing on 1 last year. At receiver, Holly is a 90. Fine 85. Marvin 84. Obviously, we haven't even gotten development yet. So, doesn't really make sense to look at too much of this for the time being. Some players are going to get passed up, but we know Holly's going to be like the top guy. That was our biggest addition, I think. Yeah, number 81 with the hand warmer. No, you're wide receiver 1, Cam. Not going to happen. I can't wait for Cam Holly. Sylvan's measurables. He's 6'1", 191. Yes, we have 4 tight ends on the roster now. 1 for each year. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Happy with that. Carlos Cash at tackle. Please take a step. 3 left guards, 5 centers, 3 right guards. We're going to move a tackle. I think we'll move trainer. Been loving the Twins franchise, Kane. I love to hear that. Working on another episode. I was recording it earlier. I got to do a little bit more, but I think we're looking at a video tomorrow. I want to try getting that up a little bit more often, a few more times of like an every other day cadence. Probably can't do it like every time, but I've been on like an every 3rd day cadence quite a bit, and I want to get it up a little bit higher. D tackles. Sam, Mike, Will. Now, there were some saying to move Ahmad out to safety. He has 94 speed. That is so freaky at 249. 86 tackling. 91 coverage. It's not a stretch to play this linebacker at safety. That build, I'm sure, has never played safety before. 5'11", 249. Here's the cornerback room. Pretty crowded there for Kane Akers to play early. And then far fewer safeties, and it's still a pretty old group. Yeah, safety looks pretty rough. Can we bring Adeyemi back? Alfonso Ahmad at safety. That is crazy. But I could move him to safety and he'd still have sub-linebacker flexibility. What does it say about his overall out there? It's higher. He's one of a kind, isn't he? You can't ignore that when safety's such a huge need. That is crazy. Alba has 99 speed. I'm going to move him to strong safety. I can't believe that. I think he plays a multifaceted role there. That's scary. Do I want to move any of these corners to safety given the lack of depth out there? I could see like a Cavante Tolbert just give us more options, but I don't think it would be a huge difference. Alfonso Ahmad playing safety at 250 pounds, guys. I don't want to move Alba because his press is so low. At least here he can play a deep safety. I have any athletes this year? I got 2. Levi Cherador, we know, was a tight end. He was insta commit. So there's an easy one. Eric Isaac. Looks like edge is his position. We'll just put him there. All right, so 4 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, a lot of receivers. Can you guys play defense? I think I still want to move someone to Sam. Move Cam Holly to tight end. No, that's wide receiver 1. I need him to occupy attention on the outside. Man, it's crazy how different a team can be in 1 year. Heaviest strong safety of all time, Michael Lewis, New Orleans, played at 230, had all-pro, Pro Bowl selections, undrafted in 2000. £249. And who knows, when we upgrade these guys, he might gain a pound and be a true 250. So I've talked about here considering like the manual upgrades for like 2 players just to try it out. It was some feedback from earlier on those super chats. What do you guys think about trying it out on Carlos Cash, with him being a freshman who actually gets a chance to play, and maybe DJ McElroy in that same boat? 5-star recruit, like trying to get these guys on the field with more efficient upgrading. We could try it. I wouldn't do it on quarterback. No, I think that's too much control. That's dangerous. So if I sim now, this is the training week. Tyree Figueroa is elite. Let's go. One of my favorite returning players. Who else? Elijah Hopper to star. Anyone else? Breeze, elite at receiver. So where do you do this? I have never done the auto or switched the upgrading. Kane, it's too late now? Is it? Oh, it's too late now. My bad. Oh. Do you guys play with auto on or off? Do you guys like the manual upgrades? My bad. How much better did everybody get? Top players are Cam Holly, Jeffrey Brazil, Stephen Cotton at 93 overall. Tyree Figueroa is a 92. Got Coney Wongwu as a 90. Priester becomes a 90. So let's go by positions. I don't think anybody is in Priester's way this time. Pretty good upgrading year for Killings. Not bad. Yeah, I think this is how I'll have it this year. Priester, Killings, Childs. So Killings has the really good, you know, the great mobility. His accuracy has gotten pretty decent as well. Priester's waited his turn. He has great throw power. They both do. Accuracy edge goes to Priester. Mobility goes to Killings. At running back, you've got Wongwu at 90, LaFell 86. I still think the true freshmen get on the field, and I don't think that LaFell is going to get in their way outside of maybe some specific pass-catching stuff. But Wongwu is probably going to get some work. Is there a 30-point difference in awareness? Oh, wow. 27. Yeah, that gap is actually very thin with these two. We're definitely getting into practice. At receiver, Holly is a 93, Fine 88, Marvin 86, Haddad 86, Breeze 86, Asiasi 85, Antoine Patton 85. So there is a lot to sort out here then. You know Holly and Fine are going to play. So who else does? How do you break this tie? Marvin isn't as athletic as Haddad, who also has 80 strength. Terrell Breeze. His edge over Haddad is pretty obvious there in a lot of categories. And he's faster. I think it's Holly, Fine, Breeze. Looking at the ratings here. I think Haddad becomes like a second slot wide receiver 4. But man, Marvin's route running is good too. It's a good problem to have with all these receivers. But a plus 10 there for Patton. You got to talk about a boost that significant. These guys are crazy. Platinum cutter. Tight ends. Kyrie Doyle. Rattler took a nice little leap here. All right, so Doyle's going to be your tight end 1. But Rattler is a good blocker, and he's going to play. Ezekiel probably redshirted. We'll see how he compares to our one true freshman. Carlos Cash, plus 4. And now I want to see like how much better these players actually get over the course of the year. Like one thing I want to get out of this season is just kind of some knowledge on, okay, if these guys play the entire year, like Cash can go from 82 to what by the end? Yeah, Cash got faster while gaining weight, and it was all clean. Casa to 90. Riggs to 79. So this is actually where, if we don't have a single veteran at an 80, do you play the true freshman and just say we're playing for pure dev? We'll see the ratings. From what we see here, I like Sanders more than Riggs. Sanders is way better in pass protection. They have very different ratings for two guys that share the same overall. Devi at 89, Hayden 87. So I feel great about the offensive line. McElroy to 80. Next year, how would you feel about maybe doing a franchise with the Texas Rangers, Seattle Mariners, or Pittsburgh? I haven't really thought about next year's franchise. But, you know, Pittsburgh's been an option year in, year out. Texas, there's a lot of money on that team, and they just won a ring. So I wouldn't think of them as much. Seattle, be a very different type of franchise. Because, I mean, they've got one of the most loaded rotations, plus Kate Anderson in the minors. I feel like Seattle's kind of graduated being the ideal team there if you're focusing rebuild. I still have the itch to go to the AL East. And I do actually wonder if Baltimore is more interesting now because some of the prospects haven't really panned out. They don't look as deep as they once did. But at the same time, they're not like a bottom 10 team. As an Angels fan, I beg you to think about it. That's a rebuild where you get a big budget. You can definitely do it a little differently. Robert Smith, 86. Harulahu, 86. Brazil, 93. Heaney, 90. Big leap, Alfred Heaney. All right. The finesse on Hopper is still... You can't ignore that. Plus 10. It's the same top 3, though. Or not. We had Matlock last year. Heaney's back in the mix. We have a good top 3 rotation. How about the Rays? They're like the best record in the game right now. I thought they were a great franchise team when the season began because it was like Caminero and who else, but like always, they figure it out. They played the Twins first week or two of the year, and I thought, wow, this team is terrible. They couldn't play defense, especially with Caminero. He had like 7 errors in the first 2 weeks. They were atrocious in the beginning, but they know what they're doing. Figueroa to 92. Boudreau to 84. Devon Boudreau should be that Isaiah Harris replacement. Or maybe more of an Elliott Head replacement because we got Steven Cotton who can really do it all. Man. And then we go to corner. This is where I think you're looking at definitely a step down. You've never managed a team with a dome in MLB. There aren't many domes. There aren't a lot of them. I have had a retractable roof team, though, in Miami. And I forgot to open the roof a lot. So we did play a lot of dome baseball. Paul Keener, Terrence Tull are the top-rated corners. Lyles will be back out there. I did not see Paul Keener taking a huge leap to grab a starting spot. Jerome Chansey, just straight up plus nothing. He got a couple ratings up, but it didn't even move his overall. Paul Keener. He has good man. We have better man cover corners this year. Keener, Tull on the outside, Lyles in the slot again. Big shoes to fill. At safety, Cam Alba is an 82. But this is a position where we're really taking a step back. Alfonso Ahmad, 89 overall safety. I'm campaigning for a West Virginia dynasty in 27. West Virginia is so cool. I think I'd actually consider more of a mid-tier team, not like a 1 or 2 star rebuild. But like taking a team that was great, a decade or two ago and hasn't really had a ton of success lately might be a fun fit. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like my Minnesota series was kind of taking one of those teams where they were a fringe bowl team every year, but hadn't been good in like 60 years. And West Virginia, I'm looking at their records recently. They make bowl games almost every year. But they had a 9-win season in 2023, an 8-win season 2018, 10-win season 2016. I think West Virginia is actually a really good option for me because I don't know if I have the appetite for just a 1-star rebuild on CFB. I might want something a little bit faster where I can then have an easier way to move on to other series. And I've wanted to get this channel on a better rotation of moving on from one thing to the next. Florida Gators Dynasty, Restore the Swamp. I have done a Hurricanes series. I know that's not going to mean much to a Gators fan, but big team from Florida. Yeah, I think I will definitely consider West Virginia. Because they are just, they're a cool team. And they had a really good era there in the 2000s. But it's been a while. Alfonso Ahmad is a 251-pound linebacker with 94 speed. That is a freak. New kicker, Antoine Mallory. And those are your Arkansas State Red Wolves in year 9. Ever thought about an NHL series franchise? Yeah. I would love to have the chance to play other games. And I think, like, doing these series with more dense videos and more games in each video and everything, I think there's a better chance that I get around to other ideas in like the next year. I just don't know if it's going to be when all these games launch, because they launch in too tight of a window. When I think, you go CFB in July, Madden in August, I think FC is like August, September, NBA is October, NHL is in that mix too. It's like, for my type of series I tend to do, I can't play a lot of different games and get them up consistently. So, like, I'm not against the idea of maybe, like, I think it'd be great if I were doing, like, these dense multi-game episodes and I were able to get through a dynasty by, like, Christmas time. And then in, like, January, could I play 2K in January some year? Like, it's May. The finals aren't going to be for another week or so. Like, I don't have to start a basketball series right when basketball begins. I feel I have to with football. Like, in terms of, like, games, though, I'm interested in playing outside of, like, football and baseball. Like, next it goes 2K, FC, NHL. It's just the sports I'm more interested in learning and doing a series with. I've never really been a hockey guy, but I've also never really engaged with it. At least I watched, like, the World Cup final. Encourage transfers. No one has to get cut. We have an 85-man roster. I feel like what I should do to learn some of these games isn't necessarily dive right in with a franchise, but maybe, like, I feel like I'd learn the game better if I did a player-based deal. I know I've done a little bit of 2K before. I can probably get back to a comfortable point with 2K, but I wonder if, like, for NHL, is it better off for me to just, like, be a pro and just, like, watch and try to learn how it's played and just play one part of it. I haven't played a WWE game in a long time. I don't really bundle that in with the type of sports games that I play. I also haven't watched WWE in a long time. All right, we're 2 hours into the stream. I think we're at a pretty good spot here where we can get to the preseason to actually get this team on the field. So I do have to build a schedule. We have some caps to get over, yes. I thought people were saying WWE was in a pretty good spot. I don't really know what's going on at all, but I thought for a while people were pretty happy in the last few years. No, I got that wrong. Chris, I hope you saw the Twins won. All right, I was interested in playing Miami this year as a non-conference game. They've got us playing conference games in weeks 2 and 3. Auburn week 5, easy win. Right, Chris? LSU week 7. Florida week 11. Arkansas in week 12. So no Georgia. We played them last year. Got the ULM game. Got to have that every year. Maryland may be a good dynasty. Nice unis, 3-star team, bottom of Big Ten. I'm kind of interested in like those bottom of the big conference teams this year. So I think throw Maryland and West Virginia in the bucket as potential teams. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for the super chat, the great Tacky. Really appreciate that. Finished up my UTEP dynasty. I've done my Texas out west area. Looking for advice for teams around East Coast, lower mid-Atlantic area. So far, I've considered Maryland, Wake, Troy, mid-Tennessee states. Maryland is a team that I've definitely been recommended on more than one occasion. I think Wake Forest and some of those Carolina teams are somewhat interesting. Who else could you throw into that mix? Is Georgia State too far south? I mean, they were talking about West Virginia with me. ECU? Thoughts on the Phillies going from 9-20 to 26-27? It was shocking to see them at 9-20 to begin with. Baseball's a weird game. You know, how much difference does a manager truly make? Obviously, we have like 2 results to compare, but even then, it's like, is the manager change the reason for this? Yeah, I mean, just being 9-20 never made sense for them. I don't know, maybe the manager change was necessary. A return to Minnesota? I think I want to do something else. There's so many teams to use, so many different possibilities to just go back to the same school. Like if I were to repeat a school, it'd be more like Kalispell again, like remastered, which I kind of did to start this year, and maybe that was my one chance to do it, and maybe now I got to move on. Chris with the 88 months. I need you to bring Auburn back to the glory days. The issue is that I've been in the SEC now for the last handful of seasons. It's always like I like to pick teams where I think it's going to be somewhat tough to recruit. I just can't picture it being that tough with Auburn. Because what are you, at least a 3-star in the SEC hotbed there. But certainly Auburn has had some tough years, as you know, Chris. It's the Bo Nix curse. Who are we playing this year? We've got, I think, Miami would be fun. I kind of want a tougher game on this schedule somewhere. Miami's free this week. How many home games are locked in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I either need a home game here or at the beginning. Maybe I go, like, neutral right away. You know, we're the defending champs. We should get a home game there. 4 straight road games. Not the best schedule. You know? Just put one of these on the road. I don't care which one. Who is ranked number 2? Good question. Notre Dame is 4. I can't look at all the teams from this menu. Who do I want to open this season against, though? This is like kind of a big decision. You'd like to have this game, you know, this opponent kind of means something. We've wrapped up a lot of stories, though, is the thing. Whoever the number 2 team is, they are unavailable. Clemson's one of the better teams of a year ago that we never got to play. Georgia's number 2, Oklahoma 3, Notre Dame. So much SEC there at the top. I've already put Miami in here. Like, Oregon wouldn't be bad. They're in 91. That'd be a tough opener for us having such a new team. Michigan. We're opening at home, though. We have to open at home. We're the defending champs. We earned that right. And so in week 1, here are the teams available to play. You got Notre Dame, Michigan, Clemson, can't do an SEC team. Open against an FCS school. I played an FCS team in the first game of the Buffalo Dynasty, and I think that's my only Dynasty game against an FCS team since CFB came back. I guess I'd like, you know, Oregon might be a good matchup for what I'm looking for, where it's like, yeah, I want it to be tough, but like maybe not the toughest team considering like this is a whole new roster I'm putting on the field. Open against Notre Dame at home. Let's check out Notre Dame and Oregon's rosters. And also, I never checked where Trevino went, but I think it was Alabama. That offensive line's crazy. James Darr, freshman. George Iyebunewe. You want to throw this inexperienced team up against Notre Dame week 1 when we're supposed to be celebrating? Here's Clemson, Mac Frederick, the lefty quarterback. Chad Easter, we tried to recruit him. Big difference in offensive line talent. Auburn opened against Utah State after winning in 2010 and almost lost. Utah State, that's so random. But I guess, non-conference openers. You got to have a tough neutral site game, though. What I think would be interesting about Notre Dame in week 1 would be like, all right, here's a top tier team. Our team is super different. So it's like an immediate, is Arkansas State still like the top dog narrative type of game? Notre Dame's the toughest team I can put in week 1. Or I could open it and go week 0, and then I pretty much get my choice of anybody, I think. Maybe not. No, I got ULM on here, don't worry. It's there again. Kane needs to get revenge for his loss against them that he forgot about. Yeah, who are all the teams to knock us out in a playoff game? I know Georgia and Miami are 2 of them. Who have we been knocked out by? I'm going through games right now. We've been knocked out by USC. Knocked out by Ole Miss. Let me compare Miami to Clemson to see which ACC school is more interesting to play. I do kind of think Clemson would be a good week 1 fit. They're still a top 10 team. But the offensive line is significantly weaker than Notre Dame's. I kind of feel like it'd be a good matchup for such a new look team. Dontrell Augustine. Thank you, Jayhawks fan. It has been a good stream so far. See if you can schedule the New York Jets. I kind of like Clemson in the opener. And Clemson, again, was like one of the best teams last year that we never ended up getting to face. So, do we want Clemson and Miami? Man, I wish I could rip out this ULM game so bad. Notre Dame is still available that week if we want to face them. 2 ACC teams is a little awkward for sure. I guess there's also Miami week 1. Are they available then? They are. Notre Dame week 4. At least it gives us more time to prepare for that game. And we have to go at Notre Dame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. I just ended up running out of bandwidth there for the Kalispell. Kind of redo. When I started working more on Madden, that kind of dropped, and I didn't really have enough time to bring it back, but I did enjoy doing that. I think I would consider kind of like restarting it and doing a proper Kalispell remastered type series in the future. If Team Builder is cross games, like I'm not sure how it works. If Team Builder is just for each edition of the game or how that all goes. See the super chat that I missed one? Oh, Jacob, appreciate the super chat. What have you missed so far? Well, Brian Maddox declared, as we all expected. Jeffrey Brazil did, but we convinced him to stay. We didn't really lose a lot of unexpected players. The portal, we tried to go after the top quarterback and failed. He went to Miami. I tried to get a couple more quarterbacks, failed. Matt Priester is our guy, but I think Adrian Killings is going to be some legitimate competition. And I think getting to face Miami and Notre Dame early, we're going to see if Priester really is the guy. But I've wanted to get to practice here soon. The portal gave us a really fun wide receiver 1 for this year. I did add a running back. And despite them being 3rd and 4th on the depth chart, I think I want to still roll out Big Hill and Trevino a lot as freshmen and have Barry LaFell as a pass game specialist. But Cam Holly was the big addition from the portal I'm excited about. I think we're pretty well set up this year. Like, we have a solid team. I just don't think that it's quite as good as last year's. Center is definitely a tricky one. There's no one there that really stands out. Do I just play a guard there? Do I roll out elite dev Cam Lyles and just let him grow throughout the year? Oh, and we now have a 251 pound linebacker. I moved Alfonso Ahmad to linebacker with his elite speed and our being so thin at safety. And now Alfonso Ahmad is the biggest safety ever on the channel. This is going to be crazy. How did the Elite Dev Tackle do? I think +4 on cash, and he's going to start. Wasn't a huge upgrade, but he's an 82 overall. He's starting for us. Whoops. Didn't save. Yeah, Ahmad is an absolute freak. So I think we have our schedule sorted out then. I will continue to recruit, but I probably won't feature it in the episodes as I'm planning on year 9 being the last season of the Dynasty. But I will recruit because there's always the possibility that I will just want to do a year 10, or one day I want to return to it and I don't want to just not, do the recruiting properly. So we'll throw some players on the board. We'll make this quick. Here is the new class of talent. And right off the bat, the top player won't even consider us. Definitely want to recruit quarterbacks, though. Like, that's something I will try to do. Some of them don't like us. Put 3 quarterbacks on the board for the time being. And as far as what we're going to lose, this year's team only has 17 seniors. 1 quarterback. 3 receivers, but we already have so much receiver depth. The seniors are going to be Haddad, Breeze, and Holly. All came in through the portal this year. 1 tight end, 2 left guards, a right guard, so definitely need more guards. Edge, D-tackle, 3 different linebackers, 3 safeties. Ogletree did not get drafted. No, he was a UDFA. We talked about that earlier. Couldn't even get him in the 7th round. We had 13 players get drafted, though. This is really the best defensive tackle, the 91st player? Really? That's strange. No 5-star guards either. At least their talent level is going to be about equal then. They line up against one another. Looking for well-rounded. And then give me 5 stars by interest. Make sure I don't miss anybody that has us. Got all them. Let's throw another linebacker on there. Never hurts. We are a linebacker school. $29 should be pretty good for now. I've been watching some of the NBA playoffs, mostly like the West stuff. I had a pretty good time watching the Wolves, even with the way it all ended for them. Matt Madu. Ooh. Not enough arm strength there. Gem, Chad Fair. I found 2 quarterbacks I like. Wanted to make sure I started there. Let me sort now by interest. Nice. Top linebacker is a gem. So yeah, I'm not planning on doing a year 10, but I'm recruiting as if the series won't end and I'll continue. So, you know, I don't know what the future holds exactly. Safeties are all very interested. 84 speed on almost all of them. There's 87. Gem. Getting pretty good luck on these gems. Keep them coming. Want to focus on the 5 stars here. Kyle Byler. Ooh. I'm out. Why are all the good safeties box specialist? At least this player, Dwayne Culliver, has really good speed. Nice. That's a lot of speed there. And another gem. Man, this is like the most gems I've ever found in the first, like, round of scouting. '80 zone coverage. Yeah, these are 5-star players. They're pretty darn good usually. Another gem for good measure. Top guard. All right, just about done. 93 speed. Another good corner. '84 speed. I just have a hard time with that at receiver. We got 20 more points to distribute here. Yeah, give me an athlete. All right, that'll be enough for now. All right, I am ready to get to some practice with this team, and I have an idea of what I want the depth chart to look like already. So let's build that now. And I guess I haven't really looked at caps yet. Maybe I'll save that for like the next video, because like, you know, we're planning on this being the last year of the series, so I don't think it's the most important thing to go over at this moment. Wongwu, Trevino, and Big Hill. We'll have to check out all these running backs. Holly, Fine, Breeze is how I want it to go. 1, 2, 3. And the slot of that group, I mean, you can really take your pick. Maybe it's... Is that gold or bronze cutter? Maybe we just let it come down to the cutter. Because, man, Fine just gets open on, like, posts and all those good slot routes. The freshman running backs, I want to play them and see if I do indeed like them more than Wongwu. I think it's wide open. Bronze, gold is shiny. So should we try Breeze there first? How did this just get reset already? Can't go into player cards at the depth chart. It'll reset. It's a bug. Okay. We won't do that then. Doyle, Rattler, Cherador. So it's going to be Cash at left tackle. Center's the one where I'm not sure yet. I know Devi plays right guard. Right tackle is going to be Hayden. Who does that leave then at center? Got Riggs. Doug Lucky. .65", 317. Don't think Sandland is a good fit. But our good elite dev young center is Cam Lyles. Oh, I did it again. That reset the whole thing. I will still consider playing Lyles with his elite development. Then on the edge, we've got... I want to play DJ McElroy for sure, but Robert Smith might be a better fit in some areas. That's the thing. Like, his awareness is better. The true pass rushing ratings are better on McElroy. Plus, his block shed is better. So I think Harulahu gets a good boost having the really high pass rush, just raw ratings. We put Robert Smith in this mix. And then we have to see, like, between Smith and McElroy, who's good here on the left side. D-tackle, Brazil, Heaney, and Hopper. Heaney took a huge leap. Hopper is still the better run stopper, judging by block shed. But Heaney has the strength boost, so it might be more interchangeable. What defense are we running? I think we're going to try to do what we were doing last year with a lot of quarters, mixing in some blitzes. But our secondary, you know, I don't know if we're going to have to protect it a little bit more this season. Base defense, it'll still be a 4-3. We just don't end up playing that very much. So it really plays more like a 4-2-5. All right, Terrence Tull, Paul Keener, Randall Lyles, Cam Alba with the elite speed, Alfonso Ahmad. Who's the kick returner now? Because, like, we don't really have that dynamic speed guy now. Gio Carney. 96 speed, 91 acceleration, 85 agility. LaFell. Cordell Melvin, the freshman. Maybe he gets a shot at it. Ahmad at kick and punt returner. He could do it. Absolutely could. I know I like going for elite acceleration when I'm choosing my returner. Terrell Breeze might get a chance as well. Third down back. Probably going to list it. That's tricky. Miguel Trevino has the 77 catching, though. I know that LaFell is higher rated, but Trevino's the 5-star with the ceiling. So I might list Trevino as third down back. Power back as Wong Wu, and then Big Hill. Slot as Breeze. Yeah, there'll be more to clean up, but I just want to get us on the field for the most part, so we can just play a little bit. Trevino has the takeoff ability and the safety valve receiving ability. Good calls there. I was not thinking about abilities. I almost never think about abilities. It's been all ratings for as long as I can remember, so the abilities are still kind of new to me. No. There. Lyles and Chansey. All right. I'm not sure this team really has a... I guess Barry LaFell's the gadget player, but I don't see us using him anywhere near as much as we were Kenneth Agood. I agree, especially like now we're talking about just high-rated players everywhere, and like the ratings don't separate players as much at this level versus the abilities. Absolutely. So I wanted to take a look at some of those abilities then, because we've talked about playing some of these young freshmen. Like Wong Wu has downhill and armbar. Big Hill has armbar. Trevino, safety valve, and takeoff. So, improved overall catching, quicker release offline when not pressed. We like that. And then, how about Cash? He's got 2 platinums. Improved movement as a pull blocker. Not really that valuable. He's not going to pull much at tackle. But quick drop. Improved pass block movement. How about that center then? Because Riggs has quick step and quick drop and screen enforcer. Sanders has a bunch of abilities. What about Lyles? None. So maybe Lyles ain't the guy right now. Kane Akers doesn't have any physical abilities either. And then I had a receiver as well in Javier Abbott, who was a top 5 prospect. By the way, no caps. Do you find a way to put him on the field a little bit? Improve cut moves. I mean, Abbott could be that 4th slot. Or that second slot, like wide receiver 4. Platinum cutter on Haddad. I mean, that's definitely rare. We don't have a lot of that. Patton also got that. Priester has all the quarterback abilities. So he has sleight of hand. And on time and step up. Accuracy boost, climbing a clean pocket. I've tried to do more of that. Improved accuracy when throwing with anticipation. Now, how does the game determine that? I think his abilities are really nice if they do boost his accuracy. And as a pocket passer, he's got to be like an accuracy master. So we're going to try out Priester. But at the same time, there is a Mod Killings who deserves a look with his 92 speed, 96 acceleration. He's not as good down the field. The mobility does count for something, and I leaned a lot on the mobility with Ogletree. But I do feel that Priester's going to start the year, and we only make a change if, like, something's off. If you throw it when they make a cut on the route, give or take a second either side. So just if my timing is good. And I feel like I've played with pretty good timing in the past year. So let's get on the field here and just start to take a look at the Year 9 Red Wolves. All right. Those of you who have waited for Matt Priester to get his chance, today is a very big day for you.
Fly trumpet. Fly trumpet.
We'll put the ball right at midfield. I haven't really checked out the caps much. I think I'll do that in my next video. So I'm looking at, I think the next episode, I'm going to break down the off-season and get to the start of year 9. Holy smokes.
Base 27 jump. Ready.
I don't feel like I need to do a whole edited off-season video for this. I feel like I can kind of recap it. And given this is meant to be our last off-season, you know, I think that... Ooh. We can kind of just truly recap it and not just tell the same story, but in 30 minutes' time. Ooh.
Let's go.
Man, I can't remember everybody's name. Matt Priester. Over the top. Not gonna happen. I was worried that after Akeem Madden, like, no tight end would be, like, fun anymore, but Orndorff was really good for us a season ago, and the tight end ends up getting the chance to make a lot of key plays for us. So far, we've seen a pretty accurate ball from Priester. Ooh, overthrown there out of the slot. Cam Holly. I've had a couple runs with Trevino. I would like more of a look at number 20. Catches the ball. Good speed. Deep ball. Holly. Oh! Wow. That's wide receiver 1 right there. Cam Holly. Big time portal edition. For Holly, nope. So here's Priester on the move. I like doing some of these sprint passes, and I think he can do that. Not as well as Ogletree. Not going to see him be a playmaker with his legs at all. Whoops. Nice route, Holly. Yeah, Miguel Trevino. Yeah. I think I need to fix my depth chart here. I need Cordell Melvin in there. I was getting him and Trevino confused because they both have that, like, receiving back-ish, elusive playstyle. I was playing the wrong guy. We need to see Melvin and Big Hill. We're going to start with Melvin. All right. Priester. Let it fly. I think Priester can, you know, slide into the type of passing game I've given us the last couple years. Christian Fine, touchdown. Ah, come on. Good coverage, though, by Tull. They're not calling many running plays. I'm going to have to start just doing it on my own. Here is Miguel Trevino. This is a true freshman running back in the game. Number 34. He's got the better blend of speed and acceleration. Here's Cam Holly. That coverage is crazy.
Here we go.
All right, let's change up the plays.
Here we go. Set. Charcoal.
All right, Cordell Melvin. Figueroa's too good. I should take him out of the game.
Set. Ready. Wait.
Here we go. Some space for Melvin to show what he can do. We're just not going to see anything like Ron Best or Brian Maddox this season. Out in front. Got him. There's Breeze. Yeah, we got some guys that when left one-on-one, we are going to take our shots again like we did a year ago. And I think, you know, for a season where we played a lot more aggressively in the passing game when we wanted to, you know, it never really got too out of hand. We had a higher completion percentage, only 11, I think, interceptions. But now this year, you don't have a elite running game in all likelihood. So we probably need the passing game to pull a little bit more of the weight this season.
22-1. Ready, go.
Up top for Holly. How did he catch that? Nice block. Ooh, good move by Melvin Figueroa. That guy plays with just the best motor of any player, I think, in the channel history. It's like him and Jonathan Starks. Yeah, I think Priester's helping himself out with this practice more than some of the past years of practice. Trevino. I'm sorry, it's Melvin. Ooh, look at that little jump throw. I've tried challenging him on some of these tougher, off-balance, uncomfortable throws, and he's responded well. Melvin. Yeah, that receiver on the right can disappear from time to time. So, you know, I liked Fine last year in the slot. It appears, if we roll it out this way, he's going to be in a little bit different role. We'll switch up one more formation with this personnel. He has a quick release. He definitely gets the ball out fast. I don't have much pistol with this team. I think one day I'd love to revisit a more pistol-focused offense because I loved building that with Minnesota. There we go. I don't think this is the year I'm reinventing the offense. I like the pistol for a mobile quarterback and a versatile backfield with a lot of players that can contribute.
Here we go. Sack. 180. Let's go. 180.
Holly! Oh, that second defender saved him. Yeah, you better bring 2. That's a good play.
Set high. 180. Ready.
Yeah, I'll double check all the abilities too and see like if there are other ties that could be broken by better abilities.
Cooler.
All right.
Military stomp.
Good route. Give me that.
Banner. Set up. Charcoal. Cooler. 8.
Ooh, that was some good run D outside there by McElroy. Got to change that number, 73. You're not playing tackle.
Down. Ready, go. Charcoal. Hut 180.
All right, we got to see George Big Hill here soon. Let me get one more play to Melvin. Not going to be this one.
Banner. Ready. Come on, set. Hut.
All right, making the catch out in space. Definitely feels kind of shifty.
Here we go.
He has good speed. These linebackers are just too good, though. Tyree Figueroa is insane. So we're going to try Big Hill and Killings. So George Big Hill is our worst fit at third down running back. He's a between the tackles grinder. Let's see his pass blocking. Yeah, Wong Woo's got the edge there. He's second best in that department. I haven't really tried Wong Woo yet. Let's go to a 2 tight end look now.
Fly trumpet.
So this is Ahmad Killings. He has great speed. Not many quarterbacks getting out of that pickle. And George Big Hill. Ooh, Big Hill. Oh my, that's a good debut right there. Broke a tackle, takes off. We're in Durham's 26. Another sweep. That's blocked incredibly well. Doesn't have the best top end speed, but he's got enough. Ooh. That run style has got to go. What's wrong with the run style?
Here we go. Set up.
Figueroa, stop blitzing. Save it for the real games.
221.
He runs like a tired defensive tackle. Oh boy.
Here we go. Set. Hunt go.
Why are you guys blitzing every single play?
Let's go. Flag. Fly trumpet.
There you go. Got a full forward, move the pile. I got a couple formations that fit him well.
Set, ready. Ready, go. Set, hut. Hut, 180. Ready, ready. Set, go. Down. Set. Let's go, let's go. Ready.
Oh, boy. Holly! Oh, what a catch! Cam Holly is putting on a show. Wow. Definitely the practice MVP for me. Yeah, a lot of guys in the front seven are looking nasty. Still very athletic at linebacker. Oh, that's just out of reach.
Come on, set. 180. Militaries. 180. That's right, baby. It's on. Trick 9, beat. Set up. That's what it is. Here we go, here we go. Set, ready. Hut, hut.
I think I want to see Wong Woo at running back now.
4, 1, 4.
Big Hill. Not breaking a ton of tackles or anything. And it's a lot easier to evaluate these guys in an actual game versus practice. Here we go. But he doesn't feel slow. There's a stiff arm.
Here we go. Set.
Oh, we don't run really I-form, pistol, or single back. We're all pretty much pure shotgun offense. Cam Holly on the comeback.
Let's go. Ready, go.
There we go. That's a good run for him. We can close on that one for him. So here is Coney Wongwu. Now his speed is only an 87. He has 83 strength, 88 break tackle. He and Big Hill are kind of in that, you know, competition to see who's going to be like the guy that gets the most carries or like the third and shorts. Wongwu, number 32, is now in the game.
Banner. 6 pro.
Here we go. Didn't feel too slow there. I think he has good enough acceleration to where you're not going to feel that speed as much until you're kind of in the open field. So here, if we get him like a screen, yeah, the way he gets chased down there by Robert Smith. Let's try a different formation. I'm getting tired of these plays. Man, this front four is just killing us. And yeah, like at running back, sometimes it does come down to like that speed, and you've got to be fast enough to just kind of fit and make the most out of the space that's there. That was a crazy catch by Breeze. So like the athleticism really matters. We just have to see how much in this case it matters for Wongwu. There we go. That was a pretty good run. So we'll probably start the year with like a hot hand approach at running back. Look at who's forcing missed tackles. But kind of maybe we rotate like drives and maybe certain roles. Like obviously we have two guys that fit well for third and short and red zone work. And then we have only like one, you know, slasher, elusive style in Melvin. Look at him containing killing speed there. It's DJ McElroy. Oh boy. Christian Fine. Killings is kind of fun, but I do think Priester has looked more than adequate. Yeah, he's hard to outrun. What about Trevino? At this point, you know, I've got the highest rated guy and 2 5-stars. And I'd really like to focus on those guys because the 5-stars are going to grow a lot if they get a chance to get on the field. So I viewed Trevino mostly as depth and pass catcher. And then there's a chance he gets on the field, but it would be like a specialized role. So you don't have a lot of pass catchers at running back. Who gets the first carry of the year? Who gets that first opportunity, you think? Do you go with the seniority and play Wongwu? Or do we go with Trevino because his athleticism fits more of the personnels we tend to use? Have we forgotten about Barry LaFell? No. I mean, he's a better pass catcher option than Trevino. Cam Hawley. We're going to have to just throw it up to him every now and then. He's so good. So you're looking at who's the fastest. Best speed is LaFell. Who has the best acceleration? LaFell and Trevino. Best break tackle? Wongwu. Trucking? Wongwu. Change of direction? Oddly enough, Wongwu. Stiff arm is Big Hill. Spin? LaFell. Juke? Wongwu. Carrying? Wongwu. Catching is LaFell. Route running is LaFell. So I'll put LaFell in the game right now.
Here we go.
Like, here's a 4-receiver look. Ooh.
Here we go. Set.
And then I have to break down abilities as well to see if there's anything I was missing. Downtown for LaFell.
Strong. Strong. 180. Let's go. Let 180. Set. Ready. 180. Set hot.
That acceleration burst there was definitely noticeable.
Ready. Ready. Hot on.
There might not be a real lead running back. It might just
Cooler.
be a bunch of guys who all get a small slice of the pie. LaFell definitely has some dynamism in his game.
Military.
And after years with Best and Maddox, we're going to need to find some of that. What a catch.
Banner.
Yeah, it's going to be a committee this year.
Hot go.
Hard to make any determinations in preseason with this cluster of players
Ready. Go.
when we're starting from scratch at the position.
Let's go. Let's go. 6 propane. Come on. Set.
Yeah, he's definitely got the most explosiveness there. Might be the best big play threat. And if that's the case, then he's going to have to find his way on the field.
Here we go. Here we go. Hot 180. Set. Ready. Set. Go.
Give me one more good play.
Strong. Darts. Charcoal. Set. Ready. Ready.
There's Barry LaFell. Ooh.
Flag. Hot on. Banner. Banner. 180. Here we go. Here we go. Base 27 jump.
I'm not really sure how to determine the expectations for the team this year with how different it is. Like, I think
Fly trumpet.
realistically, with how new this team is, I want to go to the playoffs again. And I want to
Face paint.
make it out of the second round. Like, if we can make it to round 3
Here we go.
with such a new team,
Dip 3 soda.
that'd be a pretty successful year, even if we don't, go back to back or anything. But I want to be a playoff team again. We've gone to the playoffs like 5-6 years in a row.
Here we go. Set. 180.
But without a Heisman winner, without the best line in the country, replacing a secondary that caught like 30 interceptions last year, like there has to be
Base 27
some expectation to drop. Here's LaFell.
Let's go.
And the toughest part is probably going to be like, opening game when I know the least about the team. That's like the tough Clemson game. And then Notre Dame a couple weeks later. All right, so at that running back position now, downhill and armbar, recoup and shifty. Armbar, safety valve, takeoff, shifty. Yeah, so Trevino had those abilities I liked. We started talking about him, and I got confused between him and Melvin. LaFell has shifty. So does Melvin. Better at changing direction. All right. I'm excited to see how the team looks here in year 9. This is going to be a unique title defense. Because right now, if you look at the starters, just how many starters or key players, I consider there to be more like 13 starters on defense sometimes, just depending on how much you rotate certain guys in. But like, how many of those key starters return? You got Christian Fine on offense. You've got Josh Casa. It's like 2 returning starters on offense. Defense, like, do you consider Harulahu a starter? He rotated in some, but he wasn't like a regular, starter. Let's count him. That's 1 on defense. Brazil, yes. Heaney didn't play a lot last year. We'll count him, though, because he's been with the team before, and he had a huge leap, so that's like 3. You got Figueroa, 4. Lyles, that's 5. And not all the replacements are like bad players or anything. A lot of them are really good, high-rated players. But it's like less than 10 starters return. So this should be interesting. We've won the title, so like most of the drama from the series is gone, but still to see like, all right, title defense, brand new team essentially. How does it all look? That sounds kind of fun. Oh yeah, the chocolate gravy. We talked about that last time. That last off-season stream was like an all-timer. There were a lot of funny moments from that one. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this year's offseason, everybody. The final offseason of the Arkansas State Dynasty. I've enjoyed the ride. I'm ready for one more year of defending the title. We're going to do a bunch of multi-game episodes once again. And I think if I look at the cadence, I think the next episode will be a short off-season recap. And then the Miami game. And probably A&M. I'm sure there'll be some 2 and 3 games, so I'll figure it out, and it won't be a lot of episodes either way. I don't know if I want to do just the off-season recap plus the Miami game. That might be okay, and then do like a 3. Either way, I think that the next 2 videos cover the first 4 games. So thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for supporting the channel and the series. It's been a good time here with Arkansas State. We got one more ride in us here, and then we'll see what the future holds for us. Thank you all for watching. Leave your thoughts below in the comment section, and stay tuned for another year of Red Wolves Dynasty. Y'all have a great rest of your Sunday.